Chris Dolan here, and you are looking at the new Calculite 3-inch LED case. Let's check out what's inside. And just showed it in Iowa, made 10 or 12 calls. The response was excellent. And one thing I learned is that you don't want to just take this case out and say, hey, what do you think? Because there's a lot going on here. And the purpose of this little video, totally unsanctioned by Philips, by the way, is just to give you some tips on how to work with the case. I'm not going to give you all the facts, features, and benefits. You could get that on the brochure or the data sheet. I want to give you some tips on how to work with the case. All right. So you got your framing kit, a downlight light engine, an adjustable accent, some accessories and optics, a dimmer, and a screwdriver. Okay, here's the downlight. Pretty straightforward. You have to show it and talk about all the beam spreads and finishes and color CRI options. You want to talk about how it installs. So look at these. There's 3 grooved sections. Okay, these 3 grooved sections will line up with 3 gold colored spring-loaded balls on the inside of the housing. Right? And what that does is provide the friction necessary to keep the light engine and reflector in the right place. Now, if you had a real thick ceiling, that's as far as your light engine and trim would be pushed up into the ceiling. A little bit thinner ceiling right here, and if it's a normal size, all the way in. Okay, let's talk about the adjustable. There's a couple things you want to know. You want to know how to do the vertical aiming, the horizontal aiming, and you want to have an understanding of how the accessory holder and the different optics work. So first thing is the vertical aiming. This is familiar to most of you. There's a Phillips head screw. You simply turn it counterclockwise and it'll adjust up to 40 degrees. Now if you look on the other side, opposite of the screw, there's your aiming indicators. Each one of those notches is 10 degrees if you were trying to install multiple or several of these and have a consistent aiming angle. So that's the vertical aiming. All right, let's look at the horizontal aiming. Okay, for the horizontal aiming, look for the little lever on the inside of the housing. Okay, that right now it's in the unlocked position when it's pulled toward you. What you want to do is line up that little lever with the gap right here. And you'll know where the gap is right below the little arrow that says lock. Okay, so let's try and do that. Okay, you see it in there? So once it's in there, grab the whole assembly and rotate it until the desired angle. Now a tip, this is going to be your aiming angle right where this notch is. Okay, so your beam of light is going to be going that way. Speaking of that notch, good time to mention that the reflector here is key, so you've got to make sure that okay, fits in that way. So let's talk about accessories. This is the accessory holder. Very captive, right? You've got to unscrew it to get to it. All right, come on now. It's also the optic holder. Okay, so right now I think this is the narrow flood. You can tell because it's got the texture on it. We think this will be the one that's most commonly used. It's about a 19-degree beam. Right, that just fits right in the ring, and then you put the retaining clip over it. You line it up with the 3 notches. You line it up with the 3 notches, and you push it in. Okay. Now the other optics that come with the case, there's the clear spot. Okay, this is a 16-degree spot, I believe. All right, you may want to use the 2-degree accessory film over it. So the film would go in first on the bottom. Let me do that real quick. The film would go in, then the optic. All right. Film in. My sample has got 2 little dots. That's how I know it's a 2-degree. Okay. Then your optic, then the ring. All right. The one that's a little bit tricky is the Fresnel lens. Okay, this Fresnel lens is really it's the 12-degree spot. All right, so this one you'll want to have a another film to smooth it out just a little bit, okay? That film goes in. The 12-degree spot in the form of a Fresnel lens goes in next. Make sure the smooth side is facing up. And then the little retaining ring gets pushed in to hold it, okay? So this optic is different than the other two, right? Just like that. All right, so that's it. That's how to work with the 3-inch Calculite LED case. Good luck, good selling.